And we have a marvelous example in the Isnad of Sahih al-Imam al-Bukhari. The Isnad of Sahih al-Imam al-Bukhari is so beautiful. If we go through Al-Hafiz ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, for example, he narrated Sahih al-Imam al-Bukhari from Abu Ishaq Ibrahim ibn Ahmad al-Tanuhi al-Ba'li, who narrated Sahih al-Bukhari from a famous elderly aging scholar called Abu al-Abbas Ahmad ibn Abi Talib al-Hajjar al-Salihi al-Hanafi ibn al-Shihna. He was from Damascus, but the story of this man is amazing. And it shows to us how much Isnad can make or break in the life of people. He happened to attend the class of Sahih al-Bukhari when he was at the age of 6. His father brought him. Ahmad ibn Abi Talib al-Hajjar was born year 624 of Hijrah. At the age of 6, year 630, his father brought him to a class of Sahih al-Bukhari under a scholar known as Al-Husayn ibn al-Mubarak al-Zabidi, also major narrator and had the highest isnad of Sahih al-Bukhari, the closest to Al-Imam al-Bukhari. 4 people between him and al-Bukhari. So, it was documented in a document written and known as As-Sama'. We have thousands and thousands of these documents scattered as manuscripts in the public libraries and private libraries of scholars. So when you are at the age of from 5 and above and you hear a certain book of hadith or even a certain hadith, your hearing is valid and you go and document it. If you are less than 5, your father should document this for you. Now, Ahmad ibn Abi Talib al-Hajjar happened to attend Sahih al-Imam al-Bukhari from beginning to end. He was at the age of 6. His father documented for him his sama', that he attended this class. Now, how long do you expect the students of a certain Shaykh live after the Shaykh dies? 50 years? If the student was at the age of 20, then we would say maximum 60, 65 years. Scholars at the age of 80, 85 would die and no one would probably be surviving. Now, all the students of Al-Husayn ibn Mubarak died. There was no one left. And the students of hadith went around to see, is there anyone remaining, any student of Al-Husayn ibn Mubarak remaining? Because it means they would come closer to Imam Bukhari, one generation. They heard of Ahmad ibn Abi Talib al-Hajjar. He was in his 80s, working as stone cutter on the mountains of Damascus, Qasiyun. He was a righteous man, but not really a distinguished scholar. All he studied throughout his life is Sahih al-Bukhari and few other sessions of hadith. His father took him. Later on, he grew up to be just an ordinary man seeking profession, stone cutter, in order to earn his bread and butter. So, they looked for the sama', they found a document proving that he is really a student of Al-Husayn al-Mubarak al-Zabidi. He studied Sahih al-Bukhari altogether. He can narrate it. So people came to him. Students poured from all the Islamic world to study under him. He taught Sahih al-Bukhari 70 times. He taught Sahih al-Bukhari 70 times, and he aged and lived 106 years. He was born year 624. His teacher, Al-Husayn, died 631. When he was 7, his teacher died. He studied the book year 630 and taught the same book, Sahih al-Bukhari, year 730. 100 years later. Can you believe it? Taught the same book 100 years later. He lived 106 years, and because of the class of hadith he attended when he was young, he became now a superstar. Those are the superstars. Those are the stars of the world. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends mercy on the face of the earth, Allah looks at these righteous people, at the ulama, at the awliya. Those are the people Allah looks at when He wants to send down punishment, for example. If such people are available, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes punishment. If they come in a place, they bring barakah with them. So when I narrated Hadith al-Rahmah from my father, rahimahullah, I was at the age of 5. Then he took me to an elderly scholar by the name of Makki al-Kittani, Shaykh Makki al-Kittani. And I was between 5 and 6. And he introduced me to his Shaykh. Since Shaykh Makki was a great muhaddith, a great scholar, and grew up in a family of scholars and family concerned and gave a lot of attention to narration, hadith and wilaya. So he requested Shaykh Makki to give me Hadith al-Rahmah. At that meeting, first meeting, Shaykh Makki gave me Hadith al-Rahmah. And still, between the age of 5 and 6 I still remember the movements of the lips of the Shaykh when he uttered Hadith al-Rahmah, because of the awe and the age he had at the time, and being a little kid introduced to that aura around the Shaykh. So I remember almost every bit of that meeting. I was 11 years old when the Shaykh died, and he was 85. And you can see here the short isnad that I got through studying and sitting with that Shaykh who was at the age of 80, 85, and there was a little boy. Tell me now, where are our boys and children now? Where are the young people? What do you want the memories of your children to be? Where do you take them? What are their memories when they are young? If you don't bring them to classes of sacred knowledge, teach them how to behave in the mosque of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the house of Allah, teach them how to sit in front of scholars, have these memories in their minds so that when they grow up later on, they grow up with these memories. Now for me, actually, it was the bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through my father. I'm telling you, I'm not a scholar because that I did a lot of struggle. No, it happened that I grew up in a house of a scholar. He made everything around me to help me becoming a scholar on his footsteps, rahimahullah ta'ala wa radiya an.